What's up?
What's up? My name's Dean.
This
Ow.
Lumos.
Now this is Lumos. He's really cute, and Okay, I'm sorry. He doesn't want me to talk, so I put him down. I hope you're having a good day.
You put him down?
No, I didn't put him down. I just put him on the ground. I placed him gently.
I still see him walking around.
He is walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna...
Bye.
Hey, welcome back. This is gonna be my second video on my YouTube channel called The Daily Dean. I'm here to tell you about stock options and what I did to get involved, and basically why I think people should start getting invested, especially in today's market where we're not doing so hot in the United States specifically. The reason why I would like to make this video is to at least show you guys so that you guys can be successful as well. I'm not a financial advisor, so please take my information and do what you want with it. I'm only suggesting as to the methods I used and showing you an easier way for you to get involved into the stock market and at least become an investor. Secondly, I want to make sure that you're aware that I'm not sponsored by anybody and that this is going to be more of an informational, educational video for you all. I want to talk about why we should even bother investing. The objective of investing is to have your money work for you, as what a lot of other people will say in the investor world. And what you'd want to do, and what I would suggest, is to invest in stocks that will at least grow over time and ones that are pretty stable, because average the stock market grows at about 10% per year. And usually they say if you can get a return on investment on your stocks of around 10%, you're doing pretty good. I think that especially now where all of the stocks are at an all-time low, or at least a lot lower than what they were a few years ago, I think within the next few years, if you invest today, you'll be able to grow your money a lot more than 10% within the next 3 to 4 years when the economy picks up again. The easiest way that I think for you to get involved in the stock market is to download one of the many apps. One that I use personally is Robinhood, and I'll have the link down below so that you can get a free stock. Once you click that link, it's going to lead you to either your app store on your Android phone or your app store on your Apple phone. You can easily start seeing your assets grow over time. Robinhood has allowed me to get involved in the stock market, made it very easy, very streamlined. Definitely something that I think for any new investor, you're going to want to know. You're going to want to make this a very easy process and very streamlined. The UI experience from Robinhood is very clean, and it doesn't look very jumbled with all the numbers. Basically, it'll give you a graph. It'll tell you if you're doing well or not doing well, and it'll tell you when you want to sell. Out of the many apps that I've used, Robinhood is the easiest one, in my opinion, that streamlines a lot of the stock information. Your assets grow through a graph and at least defines the terms for you compared to other apps. It's very easy to get started. You'll download the Robinhood app through the Android App Store or through the Apple App Store. And from there, you want to make sure that you are eligible in these categories. So you want to make sure that you're a US resident or a permanent resident of the United States. You want to be at least 18 years old. You want to have a valid social security number. And you also want to make sure that you have access to online banking, as this app will start using your bank as a way to get for you to start depositing money into your bank account or withdrawing money from your bank. Stocks are an investment that is, I would consider, a liability, because you're going to expect to lose the money that you put in the stock market. And the reason why I say this is because some people will invest all their savings and then they'll lose it all because they invested it in very bad stocks. It's all about risk versus reward. And I do feel that the best balance for this will be to look into a few types of stocks that will at least show prolonged growth over time. I want to go through some terms with Robinhood so that you're familiar with some of the terminology before you start getting investing. So with the terms, we have two types of terms that I think are very important. So, okay, there's two types of investing. There's short-term investing and there's long-term investing. As a new investor, I would go with the long-term investing, as this is going to be more of a relaxed way to invest in the stock market. Basically, you're not going to be checking your stock market every day and panicking if your stock starts tanking. It's going to be something where you're going to put your money in. You're not going to look at it for about a year and a half, and then you're going to look at it later and be like, oh, okay, well, did I make some money or did I lose some money? That's going to be the type of investing I would suggest a new investor should do. Now, with the short-term investing, this is basically someone that's going to check their phone all the time, looking at how are my stocks doing? Is it red? Is it green? Am I losing money? Am I making money? And this will take up a lot of mental space, and it may stress you out. It's not for everybody, but I think for someone that, if you're working an 8-to-5 job, it's going to be something that might be a lot more stress. Now, with short-term investing and long-term investing, as they're taxed at two different rates, the short-term investing is taxed at 40% on your capital gains, and the long-term investing is taxed at about 20%. For example, let's do short-term investing here. If I bought Apple at $90 and it goes up to $100 and within a year, and I sold it within that same year, I made $10. That was my capital gains that I got, was $10. Now, the government will step in and tell me, oh, well, looks like you made money within less than a year. So we're going to have to take some of that. That ends up being 40%. So 40% of the $10 that I made is $4. And what I'm going to take home is $6. I mean, 6 is better than 0, so I would consider that it's still great for doing nothing and just putting your money in a stock that went up. The other alternative, the other way, is the long-term investing, and the government will tax it around 20%. It may be higher slightly, but it's around 20. Let's do the exact same scenario. I bought Apple at $90. After a year, it goes to $100. And then I decide to sell my stock after a year. My capital gains is going to be $10 still, and then the government will then tax at 20%. So the government will take $2 and I will end up with $8. So I honestly think that's pretty good. I ended up with $8 for not doing much, just knowing what stocks to invest in. This part you're probably gonna ask, all right, so now that I know a little bit about this tax stuff and a little bit about investing, what do I do next? Where do I even start? What type of stock should I even be looking at? There's so many on the stock market that I get confused or I get overwhelmed. What I would recommend is there's a term called blue chip companies. So a blue chip company is a company, and this is how I would define it, is a company that has been around for a while, that they have had like a stake in the American economy to a point where if they left, it would cause a lot of issues within the government. So, example, Boeing, they have a lot of government contracts. Another one would be Microsoft. They're affiliated with like nearly every business. Apple, they've been around forever, and every single year they release something new. Consumers always seem to buy it. They are very technology heavy. A lot of the movie industry depends on Apple to do a lot of the stuff. Visa and MasterCard is another one. The credit card industry is basically just those two companies. They're going to be here for, I would project, within the next 5 years. When you visualize a stock, envision how dependent people are on that company and how much dependency the government has on them. Now, looking, and they would be categorized under blue chip. So if you looked up blue chip, you'd be able to see these types of companies I'm talking about. So as of right now, a lot of these companies are not doing well. It's pretty rare that you're going to see them at a very low value. So if you invest in a lot of these blue chip companies, within 5 years when the economy picks up again, your money is going to go up a lot more than what it would normally be. And this is what I did back when the economy tanked, when I think back in like 2018, 2019, and I was able to beat the 10% return on investment principle. And usually if you can beat that, then you're doing very well in the stock market. And that would be something that I would recommend that my viewers here would be able to get at least a good head start, and something that I think you guys would greatly appreciate now that I'm telling you guys when to start investing and when to at least see the best chance of your money growing. Those are just some of my tips, and I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Well, thank you for coming to the Daily Dean. See ya.